Excuse me. Man of space. What up, y'all?
Welcome
to the J&O Show.
What we talk about.
This brother wants to know if he is a jerk.
I don't know if YouTube is okay with that word.
He wants to know if he's a jerk for wanting to divorce his wife because she was depressed and she lost her mind.
I spent $3,000, what, a month? A week?
$10,000 a month.
Whoa!
It's a lot.
Make sure you watch to the end so you can catch the whole
It's a lot.
thing of what he say.
It's a lot.
Am I the asshole for divorcing my depressed wife because her depression and depression-induced spending are dragging me down?
Oh, depression-induced spending?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. At what point do I leave my wife because of her depression and her depression-induced spending that's dragging me down? When my wife and I met, I was an MBA program and she was finishing up her certification process to become a nurse anesthesiologist. I was drawn to the drive and optimistic view of the world. We were both young adults who saw the world as an endless source of opportunity. We discussed having kids when we were more established in our career. After graduation, we both went to work. I got a job consulting, making $200K a year with a signing bonus, and have continued to grow in my career. My wife was crushing it at her dream hospital, making $150K before overtime. We were happy, traveling, and enjoying ourselves. We eventually bought our dream home and were truly living our dreams. Until about 3 years ago, my wife had a mental breakdown at home between shifts at the hospital. She was eventually hospitalized for a few weeks. After she came home, we agreed that she would take 6 months off to recover and that I would take care of us. Immediately, she started spending an average of $2,000 to $3,000 every week, traveling with her friends and weekend trips. She stopped helping around the house and was constantly out of the house.
Dang. All right, first of all,
That's a lot.
congratulations. 350K into the house a year. I'm hoping that you guys made a nest egg with all of that money coming into the house. Her whole salary could have been going into savings, like her entire salary could have been going into savings. You were grossing $1 million every 3 years.
Wow.
I am hoping that during that time that y'all were putting money away.
Yep.
Me too.
Because that's crazy. Y'all were living the rarity of a life. She was still not happy.
How does that happen?
Ain't that the modern woman dream? That looked like the modern woman dream to me.
Yeah, I'm confused too. We're confused.
Okay.
That might be the modern man dream too. Dang.
Yeah, obviously something is wrong. If she went into a depression,
Yep, that's crazy.
that she had to be hospitalized, and the plan was for her to take 6 months off from work. Now he said that she was going to school to be an anesthesiologist and a nurse practitioner.
So. Yeah.
I think he said so. Wow. I don't know. Yeah, they were killing it and they were making money and everything like that. But why did she have the breakdown is the question to me. Of course, we don't know, but was it because maybe she was being overworked? I don't know. Maybe she was feeling more of a need to not necessarily be working as much. He said that they talked about having kids once their life was to a certain point where they wanted it.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what point y'all was waiting for.
I don't know.
At that point.
They haven't mentioned anything about kids yet. So maybe kids are there, maybe kids aren't there. I don't know. Either way, to me, what happened to the for better or worse part of the marriage vows? Like, life gets real, y'all. Life be lifing. None of us know the future except God. And that's another reason why it's important, I think, to be tapped in to him, because we may not know the future, but we know someone who does. And if we are tuned in with him, he will let us know what paths to go down, what paths we shouldn't go down, because he knows what's at the end of that path. But anyway.
This sounds a lot like the happiness curve that they're talking about with the modern women nowadays. They're saying that women today statistically are less happy than they were back in the day when they were mostly housewives or staying at home. Like, depression is up. The amount of taking antidepressant drugs is up. Alcoholism is up. All of this stuff amongst women. And they believe that it's an indication that the lifestyle that a lot of them want now, because of the high stress levels of maintaining that lifestyle, that they're actually less happy than they were before, because even though it was a simpler life, it was less stressful.
Right.
So that's what it sounds like.
Traveling with her friends and weekend trips. She stopped helping around the house and was constantly out of the house. I completely supported this for 6 months. She said it was part of her healing process, and I understood entirely through sickness and in health.
I'm sorry, bro. She going on girl trips and she was outside of the house more than she was inside of the house.
That doesn't sound good.
But you still working and taking care of the house. and you fully supported it, and she just gone. Girl trips. And you spending $3 to $4K a month. It may be something going on there. Besides, this is not a for sure, but it might be something going on.
Yep.
We'll see. I don't know.
Then the agreed 6 months passed, and I asked if she was ready to return to work at least part-time. This caused her to shut down, so I backed off. Then a year passed, and I revisited again. Another breakdown ensued. I asked if she was ready to consider starting a family and just being a homemaker instead of going back to work. We were in a great financial position and didn't need her money. She agreed, and for the last year, we have been trying to have a baby. We've even done fertility testing and been giving a "you are both healthy, so keep trying" last week from the doctor. Last week, I was driving her car and I dropped my phone, so I pulled over to grab it from underneath the driver's seat. And to my surprise, I found birth control pills. I was shocked and
Yo, wow. And dang. Because you married to that. Like, so now we have deception. Mm-hmm. It may have been deception for a whole year at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
Possibly.
was it really a breakdown, or was it a realization that what she thought she wanted from life she didn't really want? Like, this
Possible.
is wild, yo. That's crazy.
was shocked and turned around on my way from work to confront her. She broke down and called me an abuser for trying to force kids onto her. She's never told me that she didn't want kids, and I would absolutely never push her. She then started...
What the hell going on?
Okay.
Now he's abusive for pushing kids on you that you said you wanted after you haven't been working for a year, and he's taking care of everything, but you're doing nothing. You're not cleaning, you're not cooking, you're not helping around the house. There are no kids. So you're just doing nothing but being stressed out at the house. But he's an abuser for saying, okay, you wanna, okay, maybe you hate work. Maybe you hate work. Maybe work was the problem. Remember we were talking about kids? You said you really wanted that in your life. How about that? You're an abuser.
I think there's something wrong with you.
I see a lot of manipulation.
Yeah.
She then started blaming me for the breakdown. She said it's my fault she can't work. I then brought up how I have handled 95% of the cooking and cleaning for the past 3 years because I was just trying to support her and allow her to heal while she traveled and racked up a $10,000 credit card bill every single month for me to pay off.
Bruh.
Is this even real life? If this is real, if this is real life, bruh. Okay. Look. What I would want to know is this somebody that he knew before he even expressed romantic interest in her? Was it just somebody that you sort of kind of knew when you walked up to her and you romanced her, like you just met her on the street and then y'all started dating immediately and that's how you got to know her? Or was it somebody that you knew for years before you even approached her so that you can have some type of indication of her character? Not even as a friend, even if as somebody that I keep
Just
on
as a person.
seeing in a consistent basis. Like we always say that this is one of the reasons why we support having a community of people, and it can't necessarily be family, because I'm like, you want to have people in there that you could possibly look to as mates. Church is a great way to have that, where it's not family, but it's people that you know, that you see, that you can understand the character of, their family. You can get an understanding of their family dynamic and of their personality before even having any interest in them romantically. Because it seemed like she was hiding a demon or something. That's wild.
She has shut down and refuses to talk to me. I've been sleeping at our vacation house because she says it's detrimental to her mental health to share a space with me as her abuser. I can't shake the feeling that I have been lied to and taken advantage of now for years. I want a divorce, but at the same time, if she is genuinely sick, I don't want to abandon her. Am I the for even considering leaving my sick wife? I can't shake the feeling that I'm selfish for even considering this.
Not at all.
Okay, so the first part where I started, you can scratch all that out. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel for you, brother.
Yep.
I do. Because that's a tough spot to be in. Because truth be told, not being in it, you really don't know.
Yeah.
Like you really don't know. But this is why, and Jay started to mention it before, like he was wondering like how the two of them basically got together. If it was somebody that he knew already, or was it somebody that he just met maybe while they were in college or what have you, and didn't really know for a long time before the two of them got together or had a vetting crew and things of that nature. I don't know. Not saying that things can't happen even if you have all that, but you have a much lower likelihood just because you have a group of people who will hold you accountable.
Right.
And people who know you, who know the person that you're with, they know your family and stuff like that. You're in a lot of the same mixes and circles. So you can't be showing your tail because you want to get called out.
Yep.
You know, you have people that are going to hold you accountable. So that's why we say that the way that we do dating nowadays is just all wrong, because you don't really have that. If she is the type of person who has just been manipulating him and just saw like where he was in life and like, oh, he's going to do well, I want that, I'm going to say whatever I have to say and I'm going to do whatever I have to do so that way I can bag him, then that's messed up. At the same time, though, if you're someone who is a Christian, if she ain't stepping out on you,
ain't nobody gonna help you but God. Yeah. I will say one possibility also. It could be that she has come across some of these women online that talk about manipulating men. And she's getting pulled into that mindset and it's changing the way that she's looking at the relationship. Because one thing a lot of people don't talk about is there's a lot of change that happens to you as a person during the course of your marriage, because you're constantly growing, constantly changing, and it's not always growing for the better. It just depends on whatever influence you're being exposed to. So if she's being exposed to somebody who has these very negative connotation and mindset towards relationships where they talk about manipulating the person that you're married to, she could have come across that, and that could have changed the entire dynamic of her relationship and how she looked at her relationship. If this is all true and it's not just somebody, you know, sending some story, the guy seems like a genuine dude, and I'm not saying he's faultless. He hasn't talked about what he did, but he's very considerate. He's really thinking about her the way a husband should. He's leading in a particular manner, and it looks like the support in this relationship is one-sided. But sometimes in marriage, it be like that. Yeah. Sometimes you ain't got nothing to give, and it may last years. Like, that is the thing. I think the issue that I have is, instead of really appreciating the role that he's playing and how he's supporting and trying to do everything for her betterment, she attacks him.
right.
But a lot of times, especially in today's culture, because of the way a lot of us are raised, we have a lot of this damage from when we were kids that we project onto other people. We're actually watching it in one of the shows we're watching, projecting all of this damage onto other people, and we attack instead of appreciating them trying to help us out.
I don't know. We need to holler at like Netflix or something like that, because we watch a lot of like Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, and things of that nature. We do it mainly for you guys, for the show, to be able to see what's happening in the dating market and what real people realize, what they're experiencing, and how the things that we know to be true from being married for almost 20 years, how it actually is playing out. And it is so crazy, and it's just like
watching these shows would be like if me and my wife wrote a book.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe that's what we need to do.
It's literally just playing out in front of us. A lot of the stuff we say, tell y'all, it's playing out right in front of our faces.
Like,
yes, it's
literally
edited and it's exaggerated. We understand all of that. But
it's not really exaggerated.
Okay, well, some of it is wild, but it's exaggerated because of the editing. But the editing makes it feel a certain way and look a certain way. We get that. And there are a lot of things that they are cut out. And we get that. But a lot of the stuff, like some of the main issues people are having, it's like, it's like they watched our show and was like, hey, we should turn that into a story. This is going to be your real life. Like, it's crazy. Should he get a divorce? The Christian side of me is like, well, you low-key, you stuck. This is worse. This is worse. A lot of other people would look at this situation and just not want to deal with it. But there's something going on. Like, sis need help. And I feel like the help that she may be getting because of the way that she turned on him, I feel like somebody's in her ear.
It's very possible.
I feel like somebody's in her ear. And I don't know
possible.
if it's a friend or if it's something she's watching online or what. But I've had experience with people having breakdowns.
Yeah.
And, I've told you guys, I was depressed for a certain amount of time. And when you in that space, it's rough.
Yeah.
It's really rough. If there's really that's really what's happening. If she's really just not manipulating, because she might be.
You have to protect your mental space by the things that you listen to, the people that you hang around, the influences, the things that you watch, our kids sometimes might feel like we be doing the most when it comes to certain things because we don't allow them to watch a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They're not on social media with the exception of YouTube. They watch kids YouTube.
Kids YouTube specifically.
Yeah, kids YouTube. But they're not on social media. And like some of our daughter, because she's a little bit older, like some of her friends or whatever, they're like on Instagram, TikTok and all that stuff. And I know sometimes she'll be like, dang, why can't I be on it?
No.
These are the reasons why. Like we do that for our kids, but we need to do that as adults for ourselves.
Yeah.
A lot of these reality shows, like the toxic ones, like the Real Housewives of this and all those different things or what have you, where you see a lot of toxicity in it. I know sometimes it'd be like a guilty pleasure because you'd be like, oh, like what she do? Whatever.
Right.
But we really have to be mindful of the things that we are allowing us to watch because it's going into our subconscious. And the next thing you know, we start to react or play out certain things because of what we have been constantly consuming. So just keep that in mind. We should definitely be doing it for our kids, but we need to do it for ourselves as well, too, as adults. Yeah. And that goes both ways for men and women because men sometimes, especially right now, there's a lot of content like red pill, extreme red or black pill or whatever they call it, content or what have you, where they need to be mindful of what they're watching because low key, that can mess them up too. Yeah. Like going way left.
Oh, so I have a Bible verse. I'm probably going to do it in post as to why I'm saying that as a Christian, he can't just leave. For the Christian side of our audience, it's this reason Jesus Christ himself spoke on some of these issues regarding divorce and what he believes, and that's the reason why I say that. But I'll put the verse up in post. And just for a side edit, instead of immorality in the King James Version, it says fornication specifically.
But anyway, comment your thoughts down below and let us know what you think. If it is or is not true, what would you do in a situation like this? All right, y'all. If you made it this far, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, turn on your post notifications, and give us a thumbs up so that way you can let YouTube know that you appreciate what we're putting down.
What we're putting down.
Hey, everybody. Down in the description, there are 2 links.
One is to a GoFundMe, and the other one is to a video that explains what the GoFundMe is for. Long story short, we have a medical situation with our daughter that we have to pay for everything out of pocket, and we could really use you guys' help. If you have the time, we'd love for you to go check it out. If you have the money, the funds, we'd love for you guys to help. If not, maybe you could send a link to somebody else who can help. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Press the off button.